Cicero, Disputationes Tusculanae, Episode 3. Non quia philosophia Graecis et literaris et doctoribus percipi non posset, sed meum semper judicium fuit omnia nostros aut invenisse per se sapientius quam Graecos aut accepta ab illis fecisse meliordre, quae quidem digna statuissent, in quibus elaborarent. We now reach the end of the very long and programmatic opening sentence of Cicero's essay. You'll notice the ellipsis here. So if you want to understand the context for this long sentence, which we had to deal with in 3 episodes, you're going to want to watch episodes 1 and 2, because this is a very large and beautiful sentence. So he says now, I did this not because non quia, not because philosophy percipi non posset, or percipi non posset, not because philosophy could not be non posset. So we have philosophia here as our feminine singular nominative subject of posset, which is third singular. It is imperfect, subjunctive, and active. The subjunctive is always formed, the imperfect subjunctive, on the second principal part, the infinitive. Not because philosophy could not be grasped or perceived. Here is percipi as a present infinitive passive, and it is from a third conjugation io verb, namely percipio, like so, percipere. Not because philosophy could not be grasped, Graecis et literaris et doctoribus. In Greek literature, Graecis literaris, so here we have an ablative, a feminine plural ablative, because literae is feminine, and by those who are learned, namely doctoribus right here. And doctoribus is going to be masculine plural, and I take it as an ablative of agency. So he says, I did this, I put philosophy into Latin, not because philosophy couldn't be grasped, percipi, in Greek literature and by those who are educated. But now he's going to give his second reason. So it was not because of this, but meum semper judicium fuit. But it was always my judgment. It has always been my conclusion. Now this here, we have judicium, neuter, singular, nominative. It is the subject of fuit, third singular, perfect indicative active, of course, from esse, third singular, perfect indicative and active. Then we have judicium modified by meum in the same gender number case, and of course the adverb semper. But because it was always my conclusion, my judgment, that, this is going to introduce ordinatio obliqua, or indirect statement, the subject of which is nostros, substantive adjective in the masculine plural and accusative. But it was always my judgment that our countrymen, nostros, we Romans, and that is going to be the subject first of invenisse, which is a perfect infinitive, and secondly of fecisse, which is another perfect infinitive. So nostros, masculine plural accusative, the subject of these two infinitives, invenisse and fecisse, in indirect statement. So he says, but it was always my judgment that our countrymen, nostros, either discovered invenisse, all things, omnia, here's the neuter plural accusative object of invenisse, by themselves, per se, more wisely than the Greeks did. So sapientius is going to be a comparative adverb, and that introduces quam with Graecos in the masculine plural accusative, because it has to be the same gender number and case as that to which it is compared, namely nostros. But it was always my judgment that our countrymen either discovered all things, omnia, by themselves, per se, more wisely than the Greeks, or, now here is the second alternative, we have aut invenisse and aut fecisse, or they made fecisse better. They improved those things which had been received, accepta, from them. So illis are the Greeks. The Romans either discovered all things more wisely than the Greeks on their own, per se, which is a pretty strong claim on Cicero's part, highly patriotic, or they improved, fecisse meliora, the things that they had received from them, namely from the Greeks. But then, in the remainder of the sentence, from quae through elaborarent, Cicero will limit or qualify these two pretty strong claims, the aut invenisse and the aut fecisse meliora. Notice how we have omnia, object of invenisse, so that's A, B. Then we have meliora, which is object of fecisse, so that's going to be B, A, like so, which is a kind of chiasmus. It's very nice. Those things, which ones, in fact, quaequidem, they had considered statuissent worthy digna, so here's neuter, plural, and accusative. They had considered worthy in which they were working, in quibus elaborarent. So this is a third plural, imperfect, subjunctive, and active. So what is Cicero saying? He's saying that I don't mean that they did everything, actually, omnia, but whatever they thought worthy of their attention, these are the things that the Romans either found out on their own or improved after receiving them from the Greeks.
Thank you so much for watching this free video. I hope that you learned a lot about the classical languages and advanced your knowledge and enjoyment. You can help us keep going with this instruction if you like this video and subscribe to the channel. We've had hundreds of thousands of views in the last 9 years, and we would really like to grow our number of subscribers. If you hit the little bell, you will be notified every time we release a brand new free instructional video. You can also check out one of my Latin or Greek courses at LatinPerDiem.com if you'd like to study Latin and Greek with me directly. So keep learning, and vale tote omnes.